Well, I think, we calculated in this week that we wanted to put an emphasis on this game in Philly. That it's a rivalry game. It's a team that always gives us such a great match, even though they've had a tough start to their season. We know it's a quality side, and we know that whenever we play Philly, that they give us everything they've got, and it's part of what makes rivalry matches good. Is that both teams care so much, and there's such great energy, and so we've never had an easy time in Philly. Never. Open Cup games, league matches. It's always been an absolute battle. So we'll be prepared for that again. And I think it's good to have a quick turnaround, but we have a group that'll be prepared and physically ready, and I think fresh, and go after the game.
I'm hearing more now from your side that it's a rivalry. It used to be more from their side, so now you're.
Well, I mean, listen, one of the great things that I've said about being part of Red Bull is that we have a lot of these games, and you could go up and down the East Coast and talk about them. You could talk about other little rivalries. We play LA next weekend, and that game always has big energy. So I like that about being at our club. I think it makes it better. And the reality is that the proximity of the games in Philly make it so that the fans don't like each other, and that the clubs in many ways don't like each other. So we certainly respect them, and I have history with their coaching staff. So, Jim Curtin and I played together, and we're good friends. So, but that also, I think, adds to a rivalry is relationships. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to hide from the fact that this is a big energy game and a rivalry game.
Jimmy's now going through something you went through last year. They're not a good start right now, but for your side, how do you maintain that they stay where they are so you don't fall behind?
Well, I made it. Listen, we made it very clear, and our team's not foolish and not naive. We made it very clear this week that this game down in Philly is going to be with a desperate team, with a team that's going to throw everything at us. That they want to show their fans that they're a good team, and that their season is still around to be saved, and that they're still going to put everything into it. So in that sense, for me, it makes them more dangerous than ever. So a good start will be key. Managing the game throughout will be key. Being up physically for the challenge will be key. And then finding a way to put away chances. And so, we're excited. I think, we're disappointed with the performance in Kansas City, but it's not fazed us, and we're ready for another big challenge.
With the weather today, and then tomorrow's supposed to be raining, that's a field that's had some difficulties with drainage before. Is that something you guys have talked about, or is it an issue? Does it change the game plan at all?
Well, we'll see what the weather winds up being like tomorrow, and we'll see what the field condition is. We know that. Even when the field plays well or when the field doesn't play well, that it always winds up being a big physical challenge. And set pieces will be key, fouls, making sure that we control certain parts of the field, that we play more in their end. And I know that they're going to emphasize the same things. So that's often what those games are like. If it's a sloppy day, it makes it highlights it even more. So, yeah.
That was a difficult match on Wednesday, difficult opponent, difficult place to play, but you had no qualms about putting Murillo in. What did you see from him, and what kind of gave you the piece that said, I think this guy's ready to put him into a tough spot?
Yeah, with Amir, it's been a little bit slower than we thought, but when we put new guys into the lineup, I think it's always key to put them in positions to succeed. Now, Kansas City was a tough place to play. We knew it. Given what happened with Aurelian this week, last week, it meant that we've maybe had to rotate certain things more than we would have liked. But we always kind of had an eye of Amir, being ready for this week about a month ago. So the fact that, he kind of got himself going and I think responded in a really good way. And there's always opportunities when we rotate. And so it's about which guys are ready to seize those opportunities. And we were really pleased with Amir and thought he had a good game. And I think it'll give him more confidence moving forward.
Philly's not getting the results, but obviously there's some dangerous guys that can, hurt you. And one of those guys that.
Well, Pontius has always been such a threat against us. So, We have to do well. He's very good on crosses. He's good in 1v1 situations. He's good on set pieces. So we have to do a good job of keeping track of him when the ball goes wide on the opposite side with him, and then also when he gets balls to feet in and around the corner of the box, he's good at setting players up and then either hooking one in the corner or chopping them the other way and putting a good cross in. So it's a big task on the day. He's played some on the left, some on the right, so we'll have to be prepared for him to show up on either side. But we know that that's a big challenge. And then CJ Sapong is just such a physical presence, and he's always running hard. He's always banging into defenders and initiating contact and getting on the end of plays in the box. So in all ways, I think we have to be up for that physical challenge and keep track of him as well. So, it's a team we respect, but we love playing them because the games are great. The games are great, and they test us in a big way.
Do you think this is a game for Aaron and as well for Tyler to really dig in and try and mark
Well,
those players?
Yeah, I think Tyler's fresh, so he'll be ready to go. So that's a good thing. And I think on the day, covering the midfield, covering ground, winning duels, being sharp, closing things down, pressuring, counter pressing. I think all those will be important on the day, and certainly with Tyler's fresh legs. And then, we just have to make a decision on whether Aaron can regenerate again, because he puts so much into it on Wednesday that we don't want to put him in a situation where he's too fatigued. So we'll evaluate that in the next day or so, and make a decision on that.
If Aaron's not able to go, who would you probably look at for center backs?
Well, we've got Sal as an option again. We think Murillo can play at center back. We've got Hassan. We've got Damian back. Kamar's played there some, so we have quite a few options. They're not necessarily all ideal or first choice, but we'll see how Aaron's doing, and if we feel like he can go again, then we'll put him back out there. And if not, then we'll make a good decision for whoever's next.
Would Schmall be available or no?
No, you can't. He's not on the MLS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gonzalo was getting a little bit of criticism from the fans from Wednesday night. Is that maybe a little bit unfair? His first match back, and
Yeah, I
guess
mean,
6 weeks in a tough spot to be in.
He wasn't fully fit, so in some ways he wasn't ready for the big challenge of what that game was going to be. We thought it was important for him to get minutes and to try to push to get himself closer to fitness. I think he's disappointed with the performance. We're disappointed with the performance, but he and I spoke a bit, and I tried to reiterate to him that it's really important that whenever he steps on the field, that he goes after the game all the way. Even if he's not 100%, even if he could only give us 45 minutes, whatever, that we need him to make sure that his mentality and commitment is strong. And so, he understands. He was disappointed with himself, but, he'll find a way to get fitter and be ready when we call on him again.